I pressed the wrong button. Hold on. I want to do that again. Oh my God, that's because I was talking to Holmes. 1 second. Right, we're going to do that again. Hold on a minute. Hey, what's going on? Oh, Jesus Christ. Move on. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to a brand new all-time high yet again on Bitcoin. Guess what? Played out exactly as we thought it would. $126,000. Who the hell thought we were going to get here about a month ago? Me. As well as I'm sure many others in the chat as well. So tonight is a slightly different style of show, okay? Nothing like super crazy. I'm not going to start talking about silver or buying stocks or AMD going up 25% on the back of OpenAI getting involved. I want to do it slightly different, right? I want to do it slightly different in the sentiment of I want to talk about a couple of coins I think are going to do very, very well, a couple of coins to get into, why I'm super bullish on them, and sort of break the first half of it down, rather than just keep it super generic, right? We're trying different things. We're expanding our horizons when it comes to the channel. I think this is definitely worthwhile. So tonight's two coins we're going to talk about is Aster and World Liberty Financial, and why these two have become very much entangled together. Now, tomorrow night, we'll take some suggestions about some of the coins you may want to talk about, and we'll sort of do this a little bit different. Why? It'll allow us to deep dive into a couple of coins, which I think is probably worthwhile, while taking a look at the broader market. I think sometimes it just becomes a bit mundane, and when I look at my viewers and I look at the channel growth, we've got to just try and keep doing things different, keep innovating, keep trying to do things a little bit differently, okay? So we're going to talk about a couple of coins, and we're going to talk about why I'm bullish on them, and then tomorrow night, obviously tonight I had to pick some coins that I think are going to be good. Tomorrow night I'm going to open it up, right? So think about some coins you may be interested in. I don't want to get into the super micro cap coins. That's for a video that's coming soon. But I want to talk just about coins that I think are going to be good. So it might be tomorrow we do AVAX and SUI as an example, all right? So the first kind of 20 minutes of the show, we're going to talk about the technical setup. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about where and why and all that kind of stuff, right? I think that could be worthwhile. If you guys have got any thoughts on coins, share them. And we can kind of get into it. So do me a favor though, first and foremost, don't forget to smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. And also don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It is worth it. Man, the crypto market is booming right now. Holy shit, ETH is up nearly 5%. So with that being said, let's say hello to a few people. Then this changes, then we're going to get into it. Right, 126K, it's only Monday. Let's get it, Craig. Tim's in the building. What's going on, JFR? Foz, welcome in. Chipper's here. Good to see you, Tomato Pete, Curtis, Moto, what's going on? Crypto, Prince, Will, hey, what's going on? Welcome in. Sammy Silver says UK government might be capping crypto at 20 grand per person. I don't know anything about that. It wouldn't surprise me. CJ King, what's going on? Not crypto related, but anyone catch AMD? No, 25% though is freaking crazy. Holmes, what's going on? I think I said hello to you twice already, but yeah, IJ's in the building. Tomato Pete's here as well. Motors in my Excel, I went from 50K to 5K. Laugh a lot. I could transfer the money to sell at 0.03. What an awful experience. Man, if you didn't take profits at 50K, Moto, come on. Like, Jesus. CJ, I'm not gonna lie, it is literally the craziest pump and dump I've seen on ETH. I don't necessarily think it's a pump and dump. This is the problem when you allow 100% of the token allocation to the holders. It's as much as people don't like it, it's not a good idea. But bro, if you had 50K, come on, you got to take a little bit out of that. I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to hear this, but you have to. Warren, what's going on, buddy? Sammy Silver, I think I might have said hello to you as well. Robert Dover, the bullish master, what's going on? Good to see you as well. Welcome. Oh, really? You couldn't transfer from a pure wallet to... Can you not just do it on Uniswap? That sucks if that's the case. 2-bit shilling his bags tonight, fair play. I mean, technically I do hold both coins, but I had to pick two coins at some point. I mean, I could have picked Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it wouldn't have made any sense. Which would have been kind of annoying. But anyway, Obi Joe's here as well. And then welcome to everybody here on TikTok as well. Don't forget to tap the screen, lock it in. Fairgrounds here, Connor Price is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Reform UK, Croydon in the building. What's going on, pal? Crowman, it's been a minute. Matt's here. Starknet Power. I mean, that would be an interesting one. Casey's in the building. What's going on, buddy? Welcome, Mr. Crypto Burn. Welcome. Thank you so much for the gifts. As always, Burn, you're coming in fresh. Love it. I mean, it's like I only spoke to you 2 minutes ago. I technically did. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Right. Okay. So let's just take a quick look at a new paradigm in money, baby. Right. You can come back in a minute. I need to finish my tea, by the way, while we're doing this. Okay. Bitcoin breaks 126,000. Bullish. Okay. Bullish, which is kind of pretty crazy if you ask me. $126,000 on BT. Oh, Stardog's here. Come on, Stardog. Trying to bring the party down. What happened to the bears? What happened, bro? It's all gone wrong. Liquidate those shorts. Binance are buying more Bitcoin again. Liquidate them all. breaking 126k. And what's crazy about this, by the way, just really quickly, we'll talk about this, is we still are holding this support. So this could become a very critical point. We could start to see the breakout. Look at this pattern as it's playing out. We talked about this yesterday. We put this in the charts yesterday. Super crazy bullish. Up, retesting this lower range. Up to retest the higher range. Down to confirm the break. Back to the upside. Watch out for a further push on this. $133,000 is my price target for BTC. So yeah, pretty good news if you ask me. And just one other quick chart before we get into what I want to talk about, World of Bit Financial and ASTA. Stablecoin exchange withdrawals skyrocketing, all right? Absolutely freaking skyrocketing. 78,000 addresses withdrew stablecoins from exchanges, a level not seen since the last bull run. Why? Because they're all buying freaking degen, DeFi, altcoins, whatever it was, you want to buy it. Last 2021 bull market went absolutely crazy. Bullish on this, okay? This is kind of pretty exciting as to where we get to. So, with all that being said, I want to talk about two coins that I basically think are going to do pretty well. I want to talk some technicals. I want to get into a little bit as to kind of the latest news and then just get, I guess, your opinions on it and think about those coins that you'd like to see us talk about tomorrow. We'll make this a bit of a feature. We'll talk about coins because I think altcoins right now are where we should be starting to really think about positioning some of our capital. It definitely, for me, is a place where if you are underexposed to altcoins, I think you're going to miss out. It's never financial advice on this channel. This is just my opinion. And I think it's probably worthwhile just walking through some of these coins, particularly those that people are significantly bullish on. I will do the research. I'll walk you through what I think they're going to do. And obviously, we can sort of just discuss it. I think it's important that now, given we are entering the most critical part of the bull market, we are locked in. And we're not just talking about, oh, you know, Caroline Ellison got released from prison. Brilliant. Let's talk about serious shit that's going to make us tons of money, okay? That's what we want to talk about. So, I want to start with World Liberty Financial and we'll sort of get into a little bit of ASTA. We're going to take about 25 minutes. It's going to take us till about past. If you are watching this on a pre-record, by the way, don't forget we live stream every single day at 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Do come and check us out. Simply hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, everybody, turn your notification bell on. That way you don't miss our latest upload content. I broke down XRP's full banking public document yesterday. Go and watch that video. That thing is crazy. But let's talk about World Liberty Financial and let's talk about ASTA and why they're good. So when you look at the chart here for World Liberty Financial, it is a little bit bearish, but there are things going on behind the scenes that I think people need to be aware of. And equally, the technical setup actually looks pretty solid. If you were to take just the technical setup here on World Liberty Financial, forget the big move up and just take it from where the candle closed here on the 4-hour chart to the bottom. What you sort of see here is some pretty interesting playing out. We could go a little bit lower, maybe retest the 1941 range, which I think we've held pretty significantly. Now, there is a lot of debate going on right now with World Liberty Financial that this could be a suppressed coin. And you could argue and say, oh, here we go. The doomers are out. It's all, you know, pretty interesting. It's all kind of a bit of nonsense. But actually, there's a little bit of evidence to support this. World Liberty Financial has been suppressed, but the pressure always tends to be an explosion. And you may say, well, I don't agree with you. I don't think this is true. We've seen this with Bitcoin in terms of ETFs. Just look at some of the inflows we've had over last week, the second biggest week in the history of ETFs. This week could already start to play out as the biggest week in history for institutional buying. So this is absolutely a possible. When you start to look at the 25 million bid wall at 0.19, this is why we talk about that. And if you look at where that sits in terms of the actual document we're talking about, the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.19 is actually the 236 Fibonacci, the lowest point before you get to zero. So you'd argue right now, this is the deliberate flaw on World Liberty Financial. So then you start to play out, well, what are the upside potential moves and what are the upside potential risks? So again, if you play out the 0.236 Fibonacci at 19, then you would argue right now our upside potential is pretty big. So the fact of the matter is, though, that people are continuing to buy at this range. 55% of the order book is buy side. The sellers are thin above 21. Once that will crack, it's game over. So I think, look, predictions are that there is a reason why we're seeing this suppressed, right? Okay, there's a reason why World Liberty Financial has been held back. And you could say, well, you know, maybe this isn't true. Maybe this is just the fact that the team keep dumping tokens. That isn't true either. We know that ALTFi is now starting to actually move significantly with this new World Liberty Financial set of tokens, which I think is important. They strengthen their digital asset treasury with accelerated adoption following the launch of the World Liberty Financial on Robinhood and this is the kicker that I think a lot of people miss, USD1 on Apple Pay integration, okay? I think this is definitely worthwhile thinking about, and I think the fact that you've got USD1 on a number, by the way, In fact, a number of lots of markets. TikTok, I know you can see what I'm doing, and YouTube obviously can't, but it's just how life is. What I think you get with USD1 is you start to understand just how big that stablecoin is going to be, and I think it's going to become a pretty interesting race between RLUSD and USD1. USD1 obviously will become the backbone of the World Liberty Financial Network. And don't forget, it's already integrated with the Bonk Fund ecosystem as well as many, many others. It's also available on all of the top exchanges from Coinbase to Binance, Upbit, OKX, BitGet, everywhere else. Okay, so this is where it becomes really, really important. With approximately 7.28 billion World Liberty Financial tokens locked at a $1.5 billion valuation, this is where you start to get into the world of this floor becomes important. Why? Because you got so much held by some of these big institutional investors and big companies. The fact of the matter is, though, that ALT5 is positioned to benefit from growing mainstream retail and payment adoption. Okay, so ALT5 are very much sort of dialed in to what they need to work on and what they're going to build. Bear in mind, ALT5's entire ecosystem is all about low-cost transfers of stablecoins. And we've talked about stablecoins a ton on this channel about how they're basically going to be the big thing in this market, right? Basically going to be the big thing in this market. So again, worthwhile thinking about. There is also rumors right now, and you have to take a lot of this with a pinch of salt because sometimes, right? Sometimes a lot of crypto Twitter tends to be a load of bullshit, but Trump's World Liberty Financial will be buying $5 billion worth of altcoins to establish a new treasury with NASDAQ-listed ALT5. Now, this doesn't make a lot of crazy nonsense, if that makes sense. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. How do you then work that out? And again, it's worthwhile just breaking down a little bit as to what's going on when you start to look into World Liberty Financial. Okay, so then you start working through World Liberty Financial and saying, well, okay, are they actually buying what people think? Well, there's a lot of movement going on with World Liberty Financial. There's quite a bit going on with USD1, which again, I'd urge you just to go and have a look at and understand how big this USD1 marketplace is going to be. When you go like a little bit further, you start to get into the narrative where we do see a little bit of cryptocurrency being moved around. Now, again, you've got to, hold on a minute, let me filter this. So it's just a little bit easier to see rather than the kind of nonsense that you sort of get when you start to look at this. So we're definitely starting to see some of the coins. You can see there, a little bit of Bitcoin being moving around. Not too much in the world of mass altcoin movement, but again, you can start to see World Liberty Financial is definitely being repositioned into a number. Okay, my headphones just shouting at me then. So again, you can see here, look, lots of movement of World Liberty Financial coins at 13,000 a piece. Let's go a little bit higher to 100K. It might make a bit more sense. And then you can see they're sort of moving this around. So they're definitely starting to accumulate. And like I said, they're pushing a significant number of USD1. And I think this is going to be the kicker as to how successful World Liberty Financial is or isn't into this bull market cycle. So again, think about that. They recently, obviously, USD1 from World Liberty Financial is now exceeding over 2.5 billion in circulation. So the demand and the accelerated growth is pretty significant. While at the same time, they're now enabling on-chain payments, lending, and DeFi. Guess what? With CCIP through the Chainlink ecosystem as well, which, if you ask me, is pretty bullish. I just realized you guys were just looking at the screen rather than looking at me. And it's way more exciting looking at me than looking at the screen if you're on TikTok, just saying. So again, you've got integration with Chainlink. Everyone's always talked about Chainlink and what that could look like. I think this starts to play out into a, again, pretty optimistic view. So you have this build out of USD1, which we all know stablecoins are going to be the big narrative. When you actually go to the World Liberty Financial website as well, we are still waiting for a lot of build outs in terms of what the actual project is going to do. I don't necessarily mean the fact that we're going to get anything too crazy, but when you start getting into the whole narrative around their exchange that they want to build, they're going to do a Perps DeFi platform. If you come down here, you can see some of the stuff that's going on. The World Liberty Financial app that's coming soon, Lend and Borrow. Now think about something like Aave, and I want to compare this to Aave because I think it's worthwhile looking at. So again, Aave is going to be here, and I'm going to show you again what that's doing. Now, I'm not saying for a second World Liberty Financial is going to come out and do anywhere near that sort of numbers to start off with, but just think about this. This is basically a lend and borrow protocol that's been around for a while. Current valuation's at $4.59 billion, trading around $400 million, and is looking pretty bullish indeed. So what you can see here is that there is a demand for this, and as institutional come in, they're going to want to leave their cryptocurrency in here. They're going to want to make it work. Therefore, I think that's where World Liberty Financial is definitely positioned, and I think it's worth noting that it's pretty cheap, okay? I think it's pretty cheap that you get that. 37 says, good evening, 2-man, everyone. What did I miss? Not a lot. Thank you so much for the £5 donation, you absolute legend. Appreciate you. Crowman says, hi, you're new to this. What's going on, Chad? ETH at 4.7. Yeah, ETH's going crazy. ETH is going crazy. Let's catch up on a few comments. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to invest, you can put a K in to earn more than that. What's that for? What are you guys talking about? Starting XRP will not go above $5. BTC will go to 135 to 160. I think XRP goes way above $5. XRP at $5. Like, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think so. X6 Note will reach 150. I mean, it depends. We talked about this in depth last night. You know, 2026, if we go into that, I'd expect 200k on BTC. But any thoughts on Epic built on XRP? Like it. Did a video, actually. Looks like a pretty bullish. I think the whole XRP ecosystem is going to be pretty big, but that's not for tonight. We're going to talk about that on a different night. But yeah, anyway. Obi, how do you get silver but on bronze? Yeah, it's because Obi's gone to a second month. He was like, bro, I'm locked into this channel. You get a gold if you do 3 months, platinum if you do 4. Man, it builds up. It's pretty exciting. But yeah, what's going on, Mr. Lambo? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Cheese is here as well. Good to see you. I've had NFTs and stuff throughout. There's a cool prize for the fun. I can't remember what it's called, but it's more fun than... Okay, cool. Viva La Bacon. What's going on, buddy? Don't forget, everybody, hit the like button. Tap the screen if you're bullish on everything. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you, man. JD James. What's going on? Good to see you. Right. Okay. Not selling XRP till the ETFs. Probably not a bad shout. Probably not a bad shout. Okay. So that's World of the Bit Financial. Now... let's talk about Aster. And Aster is probably the dark horse. You may think, hold on a minute, 2-bit. Aster has gone freaking crazy. It's overvalued. I don't want to get in at this point. Okay, fine. 211, current price, and the chart looks pretty bullish. Obviously, if you got in down here, congratulations, you bought an absolute steal. And yeah, maybe you're holding on to it, maybe you're not. Now, what's interesting with Aster is, don't forget, they've just done their third. What's going on, Hunter? They've just done their... I followed your new account, by the way. I don't know if you saw. You aren't following me yet, which feels a little bit painful. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it just right now. But FYI. All right, just letting you know. With Aster, I think what's important to reference here is you've had 3 bouts of airdrops. This is kind of the accumulation of the airdrops. We definitely see this kind of push down, people dump, etc., etc., right? It is what it is. It's life. Why I like Aster is what's been built on the back of it, and ultimately what's going to come. The fact you've got CZ Binance that's going absolutely batshit crazy over this and is viewing that, well, perps and decentralized perps are going to be the big thing. Take, for example, me in the UK. If I want to trade come January the 1st, I'm going to have to pay tax on unrealized profits. Now, just for anyone who might be from the tax office that is watching me, by the way, you guys owe me money, not the other way around, because I pay my taxes. But unrealized gains are so unfair, right? They're so unfair because they basically say, well, hold on a minute. You bought Aster at 25 cents and now it's at $1. Therefore, you owe us capital gains on 75 cents, right? You owe us capital gains on 75 cents. Therefore, you get screwed on it, even if it goes back down again, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about. So, you know, that's kind of where we get to. Tim, no, because they closed down the exchanges to do some tests. It's all open again, so I'm going to sell it tonight. But yeah, I sold mine on like Friday or whatever it was. But yeah, I'll sell it tonight. It's actually moved 5%, so it's actually a better deal than it would have been yesterday. But yeah, so Aster in terms of a technical setup though is actually starting to get pretty interesting. Take the all-time high to the low end of the move. You start to get a pretty interesting setup in terms of the Fibonacci. Why? Because you see this low range at the 618 at $2. $2 becomes a pretty important level for us when we talk about Aster and when we combat that in terms of the actual trading volume. Think about this, $2 trillion in trading volume so far with over 3 million users. You've got to be in a world that you think this is going to go bigger. Now, we're going to talk about some comparisons. I'm going to talk about some price targets that I think we've got when it comes to this. But first and foremost, I think the next price target, if you take this Fibonacci at 786, 219 is definitely a feasible price. And in terms of just where this is actually moving, it's a pretty bullish setup right now. So I think this is going to be good. Yeah, they were accused of it. There was definitely an accusation that their volume was mirroring the Binance volume. I don't necessarily believe that's been proven, unless someone can tell me otherwise. But I don't believe that's been proven to be factual. Again, I don't know right now off the top of my head that I would be 100% conviction in that discussion point. But yeah, I think Chad is a spam account, guys. Be careful. Already, just ban him then. Just get rid of him. If he just keeps saying the same thing, then just get rid of him. Like, it's fine. Is there a moderator in here, or do I need to do it? But yeah, if it just... Okay, yeah, I see that. Let me get rid of him. Chad. How do I get rid of him? Block. How do I get rid of this guy? block account. Does that block it for everybody? You will not be able to watch any of the current live streams. Confirmed. There we go. See you later, Chad. Anyway, right. Good news. Good news. Chad's gone, everybody. Don't worry about Chad. Don't worry about Chad. He's gone. See you later, Chad. Anyway, it must be TikTok. Yeah, sorry about that. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this, and equally them some of those price targets, particularly when it comes to Asta. So what's going on, and why are we pretty optimistic about where Asta's going? Well, first and foremost, we saw two big listings, BitGet listing and Binance listing. I mean, the Binance listing is obviously not that of a crazy kind of idea, but those two are pretty big listings. If you want a real top-end project, then look, worthwhile thinking about as they fall through. So I think that is first and foremost. The other thing as well is that secretly, I think CZ is properly trying to push this project. Now, he may end up being like super involved in it. He may end up somehow being the CEO. I can't remember, and someone may be able to quote me on this. I can't remember exactly what. In fact, let's just double check this. I think he couldn't be the CEO of Binance. Is that right? What was his conviction, and what was the stip? I can't remember exactly what it was, unless anyone can tell me. Poor Chad was a passionate man. Chad was trying to get people to click his profile, I think. So some of the things that CZ wasn't allowed to do: operate an unregistered national securities exchange, broker-dealer and clearing agencies. Okay, so that isn't this. It's a decentralized perp dex, offering and selling crypto assets. Not doing that. Misrepresenting or failing to implement adequate trading controls. Maybe. Commingling or diverting customer assets. Wash trading. CZ being liable as a control person for the actions and violations of Binance. And okay, blah, 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 blah. So he could end up, I'm not saying he is at the minute, by the way, but he could end up being the runner, all the rest of it. So obviously this was posted. Some more photos from the Zeely Labs dinner yesterday. I was not there, but friends sent me loads of photos. And then obviously you can see here the Asta logo is here with a number of other key elements. Again, sometimes you got to see what's sort of in the background to understand what's going on. The other thing that I think is going to be really beneficial when it comes to Asta is they can offer both sides, perpetual trading and spot trading, on a decentralized platform, right? This is going to be important. By the way, neither of these are paid like promotions. I just want to make that out. Shut up about Chad, you massive choppers. You know, these two are definitely going to be worthwhile. And this is, I think, what is going to set Asta aside in terms of how this plays through. Take a look in terms of just the perp dex volume over the last 24 hours on CoinMarketCap. Absolutely freaking insane. So you would argue that this is going to be a big challenger. If you were bullish on Hyperliquid and you've seen what that can kind of do, then you have to be in a narrative that says Asta is probably going to do something similar. Remember, it's not always the first one to the race. Take, for example, Jupiter. Take, for example, Radian. They're not performing well. And you may argue that, well, maybe Solana gets another push and everyone goes back to that, possibly, all right? The fact is, though, that Asta is absolutely skyrocketing in terms of its 24-hour trading volume and its fees. What do fees make? Lots more money for development. So I think this is going to be another reason why it is worthwhile looking into the in a bit more detail and understanding where Asta can truly go from this point. So, you know, what have you got in terms of both of these coins, in my opinion? I think the fact that if we end up with both of them linked together, this could be a pretty freaking crazy thing. Will there be financial? Will then bring alt-fi's capital? They commingle's the wrong word. They come together, and I think you end up with a pretty crazy partnership that could all play out. And like I said, I think Will There Be Financial is undervalued right now. Asta, you may argue, is probably at the top end of its valuation in the short term, i.e. a token that launched back on the 19th of October. So, 19th of September, excuse me. So again, you could argue and say, what are the upside potentials? Well, look, they're definitely on both coins, I think, going to do very, very well. Lots of them have got big developments coming. Lots of them have got way more bullish stuff coming. And equally, when you take the broader market sentiment, you go, yeah, everything's starting to play out exactly as we predicted, and altcoins is absolutely the ones to look out for. So yeah, that's my view on those two coins. Again, I'm happy for people to give their view on it and people to pass comment on it. Of course I am. And I think, yeah, worthwhile. Certainly thinking about how that all plays through. So yeah, good news. Alliance, thank you so much for the heart maze. I appreciate that. And you've just become my number 11 TikTok fan. So thank you so much indeed. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Right. That does that. That takes us to those two coins. We'll talk about broader market structures, take your questions, thoughts, opinions, anything else as we get into regular viewing. Again, anything you want to come touch on, talk about, all the rest of it. Don't forget, do me a favor, smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do so as well. That would be great news. Yeah, it's still there, Holmes. They refused to do it. I literally saw a video that had nearly the exact same title as what I put out, and it's totally fine. You could apparently put, in fact, I'm not even going to say it, right? I'm not even going to say it. I don't know if you guys noticed last night, my missus was sat there, right? She was on the seat next to me working, and she couldn't stop laughing, which is in why at some point I was like, don't you start laughing, because I kept whinging about it. So not tonight. I've ascended this problem. I'm over it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I had to tap a few more buttons than usual to get to this stream. Yeah, definitely the case. Like, I'm 100% certain that's what they do. 100% certain that's what they do. And equally, you know, we'll try new things. So we'll try, you know, slightly different title, slightly different kind of thing. But yeah, does it make you laugh about all the spam videos we had about the start of the bear market? Yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh that people were still, like, super bearish on this market. They're like, oh, no. My cycle top's in. Okay, well, fine if you want to think that. I mean, it's all gone very quiet. If you go through Twitter, by the way, you can sense the sheer desperation in some people's. And look, I'm not going to pick on anyone specifically because that's not what I do, right? That's not what I do. I don't pick on people specifically, but it is funny that some people just now don't even post, right? You know. That it's the Sunday Report is my last post this month. Oh, right, is it? Why? Because you're completely changing your entire view of what you've said about the market. Man, some people are so obvious. So obvious. It's unbelievable. Anyway, without going into it in too much detail. But yeah, it does absolutely make me laugh that people were done. Is Astra a good entry price? I mean, look, we are at a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Altcoins have surged. Not too much in fairness when you look at something like Asta, albeit it's done 13% today. Do I think it's a good time to buy Asta as your first time? No. I would wait. You are probably going to get a retest of the 20-day exponential moving average, which would be around 188. You could DCAing if you really, really want to get into. You could really DCAing, but if you've moved 13.5%, you're going to get a little bit of selling off. So again, I wouldn't necessarily jump into anything right now. I would just sort of wait and see how it all sort of plays out, really. But you'll get a correction. I mean, BTC's down at 125. We could lose, you know, we've lost this support again. Like BTC's losing a bit of support here. It does generally come down at this time of the day, though. We generally sort of see this push down in the market. So we'll see. If we hold 125, then good news. We're a long way from being red on the day, but you know, we could drop below 125. So you'll get an opportunity. I think you just have to wait and see. Would it be good to buy World Limit Financial now? Wait to see if it goes down a bit. So I do think that's a different call because I think World Limit Financial is undervalued based on what I believe. Again, remember, it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go and buy it. Like with anything that we talked about a number of times on this channel, you've got to be sensible of how you enter and exit a project. Don't just go and dump your entire bag into there and hope for the best. Try and be sensible. If you've got $1,000 to invest, put it in 4 increments of $250, right? It makes you a bit more balanced, a bit less kind of married to it. I do, however, think World Limit Financial is on sale right now. It doesn't mean, though, that it couldn't come down a little bit lower. The 236 Fibonacci is at 1941. That's probably where I'd be looking to take my first buy if I was looking to DCA into this position. Why? It gives me wiggle room if we drop down to the lower support of the 19 or 1891 I've got here on the chart, which is kind of lower support that we've seen. But it could give you the upside momentum that you get in a little bit earlier. So again, just look for your entries. Look for the best place to get into it. Don't FOMO bag in straight away. But I do think there'll be some stuff. I kind of feel like some stuff might come out this week, particularly around World Limit Financial. It's all gone a bit quiet. There's a lot of data that's going to drop next week, which I think could be worthwhile thinking about. So yeah. What about Pump? We could do I like Pump Fund, by the way. I haven't actually bought any. But it is on my list of things, and I am just kind of watching it. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about Pump Fund tomorrow night if you want. We could do Pump and Bonk. I mean, Bonk's had a great run today. 9.5% bullish on Bonk. Pepe did 5% as well. Meme's having a nice little run today. Is that a sign of what's coming? Maybe. I mean, I've got a killer video coming out tomorrow, by the way, you need to watch. It is officially called Epic 5... sorry, hold on a minute. The 5 epic low cap coins for the rest of October. So that's going to be a good news story. If you're interested, look out for that. Make sure the notification bell is turned on. That's what we need to do. That notification bell, got to click it, turn it to all. That way you're going to get notified of when we upload. By the way, this was the last one I did. Altcoins to watch in October. Seem to be doing pretty well if you ask me. Seem to be doing pretty freaking well. Okay, cool. Put Pump chart up and Casper. So Pump is, yeah, Pump's kind of looking all right, in fairness. I think Pump looks pretty bullish. If you take that low end, I mean, you kind of have to you sort of go from there, don't you, to a degree. You sort of have to discount, you know, the kind of real highs, but that's kind of what you got. Broadening trend line actually looks pretty optimistic. 20-day EMA is above 50, so I actually think Pump looks pretty good, in fairness. And given their revenue increasement, what you need is a big move back to Solana, which at the minute I don't think we're going to see. So that's a pretty good news story. And then Casper is up 4.5%, but again, if you zoom out on Casper, it looks rubbish. All right, let's call it as it is. Let's just call it as it is. So the peak came in here and it's been down ever since. So if you were trend lining Casper, I mean, it's probably even worse than that, isn't it, really? It's pretty bearish. It's at 47 over 50. Casper is, yeah, heading down. Now, I mean, I did message kind of Crypto J and was like, bro, what the fuck is happening with Casper? Obviously, I'm just not really close enough to this. They've been doing some TPS testing to see if they can break some sort of world record or something like that. But I don't believe, and this is just my opinion, by the way, right now, this is going to reverse in any way that I think supports the altcoin narrative. So, for example, if you were to look at, because you could argue, and bear in mind, I'm a balanced individual, you could argue and say AVAX 2-bit looks as bad. Yeah, there's the AVAX chart. You'd say AVAX looks just as bad, okay? You trend AVAX, that's absolutely in a downtrend as well. So you could say, well, hold on a minute. If AVAX is as bad, why is this different to this? Okay, what, you know, because you'd say, well, the difference is AVAX is doing what? Integrating with other smart contracts providers, launching gaming, trying to build a narrative that's out there. What's Casper trying to do? Break a world record for the number of transactions that could be sent for a second. No one gives a flying shit about that. No one cares, right? As much as if you are, it's a bit like Cardano, isn't it? I know you guys are going to roast me on Cardano, right? It's going to end up being a bit of a blockchain for like super techie building apps, all the rest of it. Right? Well, that's fine, right? That's, look, there's always a place for it. Cardano's like, you know, top 10 cryptocurrency. Okay, cool. Is that then conducive with a massive move in this altcoin market cycle? I don't know. And I think that you've got to weigh your odds. And this is sometimes when people don't like the game, but this is the game we choose to play. You've got to say, am I going to make more money on Casper, or am I going to make more money on something else, right? That's what you got to make. And my personal opinion, this is my portfolio, therefore it's my money that I'm going to do what I want with. I think I can make more money on a different project than I think I can with Casper. For example, I think World of Bit Financial is going to do way more than Casper is going to do in this bull market cycle. Maybe not long term, all right? Maybe not. Maybe Casper in a year's time, 2 years' time, whatever, breaks this record. Everything goes crazy and everyone goes and builds on Casper. And it's like, holy shit, I can't believe I missed out on that. Maybe. World of Bit Financial could just get a massive bunce from the US government and all of a sudden they could be the custodies of the US Treasury for Bitcoin or some crazy shit like that. And you're like, yep, that thing's going to break $1. Like, you've got to sometimes do the most, and especially in this position. I mean, Jesus Christ, I got a message the other day basically calling me an absolute complete degenerate scammer when I probably lost the most money of anyone on freaking a token. Sometimes you've got to make the decision that's right for you and you've got to be solid in your conviction. That's what I would say. Crepe did really well today. Oh, did I look at that? I feel like maybe I did actually. Did we look at that yesterday? I think we did. I got more Melania than Casper. Oh man. Sharp decline for the start, further away from the trend line. Yeah, I agree. Nobody cares if it breaks the record. And doubt it will break. Keita's TPS, fastest tech doesn't always win. Or the best. Yeah, that's true. 2-bit sold early. On Casper, do you mean? Or what do you mean? I'm on about a DeFi project. If you're wondering where I lost most money on than anyone else, it was on a DeFi project. BNB is so slept. Yeah, I like BNB. BNB should be a coin we should talk about. BNB broke a new all-time high today, going absolutely crazy. This is why I think we'll link back into Asta, by the way. I think this will support the Asta narrative. BNB is absolutely just going absolutely ham right now. I missed almost half an hour, but we are to spike up in the coming days or somewhere next month. Yes. No, I still hold Casper Stardog. I still hold it. I still hold it. So bear in mind, we got into Casper with, it had an extra 0 when we got into Casper. So I'm way up on gains on Casper, like way up on them. And I actually did sell. So I did actually sell half of my bag. Man, I can't remember what it was, but I remember saying that I'd done it. So it's actually my least biggest holding. It was at one point my biggest, but it's my least biggest holding. The thing I'm pissed with Casper is I spent like a chunk of change on a miner that's just been a complete waste of money. Complete waste of money. And should never have done it really, but yeah. What returns are you going to get from BNB though? Solid safe player, but much better returns. Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, BNB, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, they burn BNB. Is it going to go to 10,000 a coin? No, of course it's not. But I mean, it could do 3,000, 4,000 maybe. I'm annoyed I'm not on BNB. Such an obvious play. Yeah, I mean, I am in BNB. I did pivot into BNB a while back. I don't have a massive bag though, but I did pivot into a little bit of BNB. And I think, yeah, look, I think that's where the whole Asta narrative comes from, in my opinion. Yeah, we all bought it like under a cent. Yeah, so what are you talking about? I sold early then. What are you talking about that I sold early? A massive chopper? I mean, technically I sold early-ish, I guess. I went to get into BNB at 300, but thought it was expensive. Yeah, I mean, that is the bull market cycle. This is why bull markets are way harder to navigate than bear markets. Bear markets are easy. You just buy the coins that look like they've got the biggest opportunity and they're cheap. It's just dead easy to do that. Bull markets are a bit harder. Still open that $600 sol? Yeah, me too. Me too. You can still use the Casper miners and mine other things, can't you? Not the KS5. It's such a big machine that it drinks juice. Now, you could argue and say if we sent it to Alvin that's got a massive warehouse in Canada and he's playing like 2 cents a kilowatt, then yeah, I mean, we could mine fucking anything and it'd be super, super cheap. You can't use it in the UK. And do you know what? We should have known that, really. We should have known it. But the expectation was Casper would be at like 50 cents to $1 by now. If Casper was $1, we'd be mining it all day long, baby. And I'd be like, Casper is the craziest, most bullish project in the world. Yeah. That's not the case. 1 second, everybody. Sorry, it's about 300 million degrees in this room, so yeah. Good. Okay. I was going to show something then, but I totally forgot what it was. Anyway, let's keep an eye on BTC. We want to see this close. I really would like to see this close above this upper trend line when it comes to BTC. That would be a good news story, by the way. The close above here would be super, super bullish and certainly would play out as we talked about in the Sunday report. By the way, if you want to get access to that Sunday report, you just have to become a channel member. It costs you about, I don't even know what it is, like $6 a month or something, $7 a month, supports the channel. And yeah, you get access to our premium Discord, alpha coin launches, etc., etc., etc. If you want to get access to that, you can also subscribe here on TikTok. That gets you access as well. Discord link is in the description and in my bio if you are interested in joining that. Good. Okay. I was literally going to look at something, but I can't think what it was. Anyway, we'll take your questions, coins, thoughts, opinions, anything else you guys are curious on. Like I said, don't forget, also smash the like button to a brand new all-time high. If you could, that would be great. I guess what's on everyone's mind is what is coming this week? Could we even see Bitcoin ETFs this week? That would be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Let's hope so, hey? Let's hope so. I think what's good about the markets is everyone is like super bullish right now. GS, what's going on, pal? Welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. And welcome in, Beebs, as well. Good to see you, man. How long before alt season? Oh, come on, bro. Really? Alt season's like well underway now. You're going to miss it. If you're still waiting for alt season to start, you are literally going to miss alt season. I'm telling you now. You've got... I'm going to stick my nose out here. Where are we at? Alt season at 67, right? We've been in alt... We broke alt season. If you technically look at it on the 11th of September, I think I said it was a week before, by the way. I actually think that if you are not already in altcoins, you are going to miss out in the next 2 weeks. And I think you will then be in November going, oh, when does altcoin season starts? And you'll have already missed it. Think about it. Like, think about it. ETH's at 4,700. Like, what? ETH's going crazy right now. It's literally, what's the all-time high for ETH? 4,900. So we're like 5%. 5% from an all-time high. I'm not making people FOMO, by the way. Historically, when you look at the data, October tends to be very, very bullish, especially the end of October. Why? You get the Bitcoin pump to start with, and then you get the altcoin push at the end of the month of October. So, but look, ETH's at 4,700. It's $4,700. Where was it on the 11th of September? Anybody want to hazard a guess? Where were we on the 11th? We were at 4,200. Just saying. Just saying. Now, there are some undervalued coins out there. If you take a look at something like XRP at $3. Cardano, I know you all hate me for it, but 87 cents, up 4.5% on the day. Aerodrome still sitting in there quite well. Jasmy's had a nice little move at 5%. Ondo, still under $1, feels like an absolute stealer. XCL was a crazy roller coaster now at 0.004 cents, thinking of buying now. I mean, yeah, I mean, it is crazy. It is, though. It is worthwhile noting that that is the problem when you put 100% of the liquidity into it. Loads of people get like weird about this sort of stuff. They go, oh, well, the team like screw people over, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is the most insane pump and dump I've ever seen. I don't necessarily think it was a pump and dump, by the way. But yeah, I mean, this is almost crazy. Like, people made stupid gains. But as always, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men, when you get people that just are not in... It's hard, isn't it? Because, I mean, as much people say, well, I'm in it for the tech. They're not really. When you have 100% of the supply out, this is what can happen. Like, people made insane gains, and then everyone just dumps it, and then you get the FOMO panic, and everyone just gets out. So, I mean, look, if you got in on the call, great. You will have done a 30x. I know I messaged a couple of you guys that was like, I was like, take some profits. If you didn't take profits, like, bro, you're just not in the right game. But yeah, whether I would get back into it now, you could argue and you could say maybe this is some sort of crazy play from the team and that it's been deliberately dumped and they're going to start bringing all this kind of crazy shit back in. It's going to go crazy, maybe. Difficult one. A 73% decline on the day is a hard sell, especially if you bought up here somewhere like 35 million. I mean, that is freaking painful right now. We even went down to 3.8k. I added to the ETH back then. Nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. JFR, what's going on? Pump it. Zebek is down. I told you, Zebek, if the market rallies, Zebek dumps. It's the most frustrating coin in your world. Like, honestly, it's just wild, if you ask me. So, yeah. You got to pump it up. Let's go. Pump it up. Bump. What's going on, LK? Good to see you. Looking fresh and green. Love it. Love it. So, yeah, this whole narrative around altcoins, by the way, we're very much in altcoin season right now. I mean, just look at some of these movers. Look at some of them. I mean, I said Zcash would probably pull back yesterday. That did exactly that. I think what's exciting to look at and definitely worth keeping your eyes peeled on is the meme market. Starting to move a little bit today. Like I said, Bonk doing that. Pepe doing that. Pepe breaking back above that, which is good news. So, yeah, still holding on to Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine's doing all right. It's up 5% on the day, which is kind of nice. Jasmine getting a nice little breakout above the 20-day EMA as well. So, yeah, we're down for that. We're down for that. I tell you what we haven't looked at actually, and I personally haven't even looked at it, so let's have a look at it dead quick. Liquidations obviously pretty slow. And what's interesting, by the way, is people are way more bullish than bearish. You generally don't see loads of shorts getting wrecked, but I don't know what the ETF did today. Does anyone know? I haven't looked. We need another crow pump. Maybe. So we got, yeah, $1 billion yesterday. I mean, that is freaking wild, isn't it? What did we get today? Holy crap. Look at that. 6,500 Bitcoin. What is that? At 125. What is that? $812 million. Holy crap. This is going to be $1 billion day. This could be the biggest week of ETFs ever. We could see 130k BTC by the end of this week. If we continue this onslaught of buying. I mean, look at this. It's crazy. $1 billion on Friday, $1 billion today. First day back, they're like, yep, keep buying. You know, we get a Billy today, Billy tomorrow. What was the biggest week ever? What was it? Anyone know? 3 point? No, yeah, the first week was like 3.19 or something like that. Can't remember. Snake doesn't even have legs to win the race. Guys. Mobile Army in the house. What's going on? Jasmine had me concerned for a while. Always knew it would buy me my next car, but was getting worried it might be a scale electric. Yeah, Stu, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Look, I think Jasmine's one of those that I said to people, I think one day you'll wake up and it'll do 20%. But so the biggest week we ever had was what? Net inflow 1 point. Is that on a day? Oh man, I can't see it on a week. What does anyone know what it was? It's kind of annoying that. It's kind of annoying. Best meme condos by Mark going to billions. What's that? Snack. All right, you bullish, super bullish on Snack. Let's have a look. Bitcoin ETF biggest week inflows. 3.24 Oh, no, hold on. Second highest week. What was that? Oh, 5.95. Okay, $5.95 billion. So $6 billion. So if we were to get like, if we were to get like a Billy today, Billy tomorrow, man, I mean, that's a big bit. You'd have to get like a $2 billion day, which would be crazy. But I mean, it's feasible, isn't it? It is feasible. You know, billion. Yeah. I think 6 billion would break it. So technically, you're going to need a $2 billion day, which, imagine that. Imagine that. Fairground says, holding everything. Getting bullish Fairground. Love it. Love it. So yeah, fingers crossed we see that move. And, you know, if BTC can hold up, again, I think we need to see this hold on this trend line. I mean, the daily candle's a pretty good candle. This does feel way more bull market-y, doesn't it? This whole move here. We're on the daily charts, by the way. A lot of people look at it and be like, oh my God, this is like the 4-hour chart. But yeah, pretty good news if you ask me, and is continuing to look pretty optimistic as well. Don't forget, by the way, if you are interested, and only if you are interested, by the way, you don't have to get super weird about this sort of stuff, but yeah, might be worth your time. If you are interested, I talked about this yesterday. Wrecked Rabbit emergency announcement. We're getting ready to launch the best meme coin ever. People can finally stop. Oh, you can't see it. People can finally stop getting wrecked. We want to help spread the word. $100 giveaway, $250 prizes. There's your tag 2 friends, your favorite influencer. Follow Wrecked Rabbit, like, retweet, etc., etc., etc. 7 days. So if you're interested in that, then go and check it out. WreckRabbit.com. Follow them on social media. Good. Worth it, in my opinion. Worth it. I don't know what to do if alt season is nearly over. I don't want to end up stuck with my Crow coin. Do I actually give up on it after all these years? Can you catch me up on Wrecked? There isn't really a lot to catch up on, to be honest. There isn't really a lot to be catch up on. Just be in the Telegram, follow the social media account, and get ready. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. There's not really a lot else to say right now at this moment in time. BTC 130k this week would be fine. Yeah, it would be pretty epic. It would be pretty epic. And I think that could come, by the way, if we were to get, you know, some more crazy batshit mental buy-in, then you could get in a world. Craig, just why do you think that alt season's over? I mean, I talked about this Fairgrounds bullish on Crowcoin. I did talk about this yesterday, that I said, for me, Crowcoin's at a critical level here. It's on the 20-day exponential moving average. It's just about holding above the 50-day. If you were to break below, then I think you could see a retest maybe of the 18, maybe even come lower. The fact that it's done that, though, isn't particularly wonderful in a moment when a lot of other things have done that. I've always said about Crowcoin, I actually sold my Crowcoin ages ago, that I don't know why people are going to use it. But equally, I don't necessarily think alt season is anywhere near over yet, to be honest. Green Weekend, don't sleep on Crow. Look, people need to just buy what they think they're going to buy. Look, Crowcoin's not for me. That's fine. You know, I'm in coins that people don't think. But yeah, I would argue that definitely altcoin season is not anywhere near over yet. Now, you generally get about 5 to 8 weeks, just to be mindful of that. So if you argue and say, well, maybe we started like September, we're probably like 3 weeks in. So you probably got like 5 weeks left. Now, I know that might feel like super panicked. Again, though, it's all relative. If we go to 2026, altcoin season will go way longer. And exactly, Mr. Tim Shea. Don't get emotional about your holdings. Treat them exactly what they are. The means of making capital. That's it. That's all you got to think about as. Nadal, when we drop 60%, what's that for? How would you know if alt season is over? Yeah. Everything's red and you're still hoping that it's going to go up again. Come in. Can you talk Wrecked in alpha? Oh, yeah. Like, genuinely, there isn't really a lot to talk about. There isn't a lot to talk about. Obviously, in terms of just getting things lined up, there's stuff going on. There's, you know, there's stuff happening. Everything's happening. But as it stands right now, there isn't anything to say other than it's going to come out and it's going to come out soon. And as always, we will announce it. As we've said, it's going to be a stealth launch for you know, key reasons. But when I say stealth launch, it'll be launched. And then there's some things that need to happen. And then we'll obviously then announce it to everybody else. I'm not saying we're going to launch it like next week and then not tell everyone for 2 weeks. But yeah, there'll be a way in which we kind of announce it. Be in the Telegram, be in the Discord. And yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Ada and Snet gonna melt eyebrows. Look, I think Ada's gonna. I love the fact that people are so like critical of Cardano. I think it's gonna do all right. I don't. Do you know what's the weirdest thing? I don't even own any. I tell a lie. I think I own about $40. But just to give you guys an idea, by the way, $5 million added to their stablecoin market cap. That's 1.38% in the last 7 days. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, it's not quite the same as Base added 7% or something like BSC that added 1%. But hey, it's going in the right direction. It's going in the right direction. That's what I would say. Oh, my God. Craig said, yeah, I've had it a few years now, made some profit on it. I'm still in a little profit. I just don't know if it's going to do what I need it to do. This bull run now. Give it. Look, you got to make the call. You got to make the call you think's right for you. That's that's where I get to with Casper a little bit. I'm like, okay, can I rotate this capital into something else that I think is going to generate me more gains? And if I can, then screw it. I don't care whose feelings it hurts. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And I think that's how you got to live your life. You got to make the decisions that you think are right. So, I mean, look, people are talking about Sui. I mean, who is it came out today and talked about Sui, didn't he? Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary was like, holy crap, Sui is like one of the best ecosystems in the freaking world. Kevin O'Leary getting super bullish on Sui. I mean, Sui chart looks pretty good, actually. Does actually look pretty good, so. It's making sure you are the right one at the right time. Yeah, exactly that. And not FOMO buying into anything. Like, don't panic. Don't be like, oh my God, I need to get into this coin. I'm going to freak out. There'll always be another opportunity. Always. You know, there'll always be the next big thing. You just got to time it right. And if you've got money to do it, then you're fine. If you're aping into all sorts of random shit, then you'll have no money left. Just my opinion, anyway. Just my opinion. Man, we're at nearly 16,500 likes on the live stream here on TikTok. Tap that screen, baby. Let's get us to 20,000. Likewise, also bullish on YouTube, by the way. We are getting a few more people in. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that kind of good stuff. We'd appreciate it. Also, check out the links in the description for all the latest exchanges. And if you want to become a channel member, simply subscribe there or subscribe there. That'd be great. That seagull will steal your chips. Hey, you got to be careful of those seagulls, bro. Depends where you are, but trust me, the ones in Whitby. So we're looking a bit bearish on the 4 hour, hoping a bit more of a dip to add some. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a bad shout. I checked on Dogelon Mars today. It's crazy. They've got a metaverse up and running you can build on. Dogelon Mars. Really? Stardog, you are losing me right now. You are so losing me. That's so losing me. Are these the people that did the weird statue thing? Are these the people that did the statue for Elon? Or am I making that up? I can't remember. Who was that did the weird statue thing? I mean, yeah, not sure about that one, Stardog. Not sure about that one. Meta was a blast weekend and kept giving dive, but what? I don't even know what it means. Craig's a decent project that you're thinking of swapping. Make sure it's for one that hasn't pumped already. That's true. That is true. Yeah, who was there was a coin that did like a massive statue of Elon. They just drove it around. Pablo Crow was part of it. I can't remember what it was. I thought it was that one. Who was it? Elon Goat Token, a cryptocurrency commissioned a 30-foot, £600,000 statue of Elon Musk's head on a goat's body riding a rocket. That was it. Do you remember that? Yeah, that's when you know the bulk. You know when everyone's like, how do you know when the cryptocurrency market cycle top is in? Someone gets a $600,000 commissioned friggin' statue of Elon Musk on a pissing trailer. That's how you know the market cycle top's in. All right, simple as that. Simple as that. Oh my God, $600,000 I mean, come on, bro. I remember they like drove around with it as well, didn't they? I wonder where it is now. Is anything even happening with that? EGT. Do we think it's even going still? EGT. Elon Goat Token. Oh, it's here, look. Ooh, shit the bed. It's at what? 226k market cap. Bruh, what the flipping heck? It broke to what? 202. Man, that is painful. Jesus. Excuse me. Wonder if Peanut the Squirrel has anything left. Peanut the Squirrel's doing all right, I think. It's still like a top meme coin. Where's it at? $228 million market cap. I mean, it did obviously break $1 billion market cap and still looks a little bit like crap. But yeah, look at that. This thing went ham at launch. Is this the one we got into, Holmes? I can't remember. Seagulls are fearless. I mean, that is also true as well. But yeah, I mean, loads of these. I can't get into a world where I think 2021 coins are going to do like, you know, like big crazy numbers. I just don't necessarily think that they've got the momentum to do it. I don't think people care enough about them. You know, I think you can see with projects that have launched recently, no one has a conviction long-term in projects right now. David White says, Velo. I haven't looked at Velo for a while, actually. You mean Velo, literally Velo, don't you? 251 million market cap. Although I feel when we looked at this last time, it was a bit naff. Yeah, it's not great, is it? I mean, if it's going to do something big, fine. I don't know too much about it, but it doesn't look like it. 200 million market cap, that's mental. What's that for? Yeah, you mean 200k market cap, or do you mean Velo at 200 million? Pretty insane. Pretty insane. Just hoping that the next rate cut, if happens, are already built in. The US government being shut down is not going to be favorable for those rate cuts, by the way. Looked up Doge on Mars, nothing crazy. That's true. I mean, the data suggests, I don't know if we can see it yet, actually. Can we see the potential? It's a while, yeah. I mean, rate cuts are looking like it. The big one will be next week. This is the big one here. Look, we don't get the data yet. CPI, core CPI, these are what we're looking for. We won't get this really start to play through till probably next week. That'll give us an indication. The problem you've got with the government shutdown is loads of the data that would be fed into this isn't going to really give us much in terms of data. So you might end up with an app with a pretty optimistic CPI report. Depends if they can get it through, which would then play out way more favorably to rate cuts. Equally, you know, maybe he doesn't cut rates. I mean, that is definitely for a live stream this week. We'll talk about, could Jerome Powell not cut rates, which would be, I mean, it'd be out there, wouldn't it? Think about it. But yeah, 94% predict 25 basis points cut. So I talked about the December being a potential double cut, though. I thought maybe this ends up being a bit of a double cut, but we'll see. Digital IDs are coming in. Of course they are. There's no way they're not going to put them in. I 100% do not agree with it, though. And I will do everything I can to not have one. That's not to say that everyone should follow my suit. I'm just saying I don't understand why I need one. That's my important thing. And I am employed, therefore I don't need one to get a job. So yeah, I don't understand the purpose of them. Blah, blah, what's going on, pal? I've got a passport, I've got a national insurance number, I have utility bills. Why do I need a digital ID? I want to know what they're going to put on there. Please sign in with your Twitter account. Sign in with your Google account. Sammy Silver says I don't want one. Yeah, I 100% Casey, yeah. 100%. I absolutely just don't understand why it's gonna be a thing. I really don't. Everyone's like, I'm leaving the UK, they will force it globally more or less. Yeah, I mean, they've tried it in a number of countries, but yeah, they can freeze your bank. Well, in China, you can literally be issued a fine that takes money out of your account. Like, literally takes money out of your account. Like, you jaywalk or you do something. The rumor I heard, and I don't know how much of it's true, and I don't know how much of it's like fantasy land, but the rumor I heard is that you'll have a social score on there. There'll be a social score that you won't be able to get, like, yeah, social fines. Yeah. That you'll be like not allowed to get a train and stuff. Like, that's what I heard. And that's fucking crazy. Curtis, they are a little bit different though, aren't they? The European ones are a little bit different. I think. Fine if you don't go to work. It's fucking crazy. Like, I mean, I don't even understand how they can do it. I can't believe it's even been allowed. The trouble you've got is you just got people going, oh yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's going to stop illegal immigration. No, it's not. You're talking rubbish. Doesn't make a difference anyway. They have so much stored digitally on you anyway. That's true, but it's what you allow them to get though, isn't it? It's what you allow them to get. That's the difference. It's at your discretion. If you just flaunt every little bit of you about on social media, then so be it. So for example, we don't post any pictures of our kids on social media. So my kids are not on social media anywhere. We have a separate group for my parents and everyone else to look at it. Our kids are not on social media. I don't want them on social media either. It needs to be their decision. Whereas you got families, you got people that literally post their entire lives on social media. Their kids' lives. You're like, you know, like, what is this going to look like? Anyway, crazy. Curtis. You remember those things? Man, I remember those things. Wild. Wild time. How about they fix the issue with people? I mean, that's true, Devo. That's true. EU biometric digital ID connected to your account with CBDC. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what they're running in China, by the way. You can literally get fined instantly. Yeah, it's a weird time we live in. So yeah, apparently it's going to have underpinning digital verification systems have passed. So data use and access. These are official things, by the way. The UK has rules on data protection. Broadly European. Yeah. So theory is that future governments may try to expand the system's scope. Private entities or third party could build. I talked about this yesterday, by the way. They can hack the MOD. They're going to be able to hack this. Like, it's fucking ludicrous. So I'll do everything I can to not get one, by the way. That's my opinion. I guess when first passports came out, people were not happy. Yeah, but it's different though, isn't it? To a degree. The bit of like, if it is used to replace, like, let's say they replace passports and driver license, okay? You kind of go, okay, fine. If they have your social media accounts, your work account, like if anything is breaching a set of data that I don't think they should have, just seems a bit weird if you ask me. Seems a bit weird if you ask me. Do you think Acceler is a good long-term as per use case and deflation? It's a tough one right now, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. To go from 30 million to 4 million in 2 days is unprecedented. So it's either a very wise move to shake out big bag holders that got in here, or it's a fucking disaster and it's gone to zero. That is sort of where I probably see it, to be honest. And right now, if you were to ask me, I would lean to the latter of those two things as opposed to the aforementioned. Selma, what's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Been a minute. Hobbs, I was very strict about that. Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very strict to my missus. Yeah, like none of our family members. I think maybe my sister posted one picture of my little boy. Like, I don't even say their names on this stream. Like, I don't want people to know who they are. I'm like, hee. Obviously not like Michael Jackson in all possible narratives, but you get my point, all right? You get my point. It's a crazy world out there. It's a crazy world in there. You thinking the top is still in by the end of the year? Yes, I am still a 2025 person. Much to the contrary of the channel, I'm still 2025. In terms of bear market, do most lose 90% of the ATH? Well, go look at, you could go look at 2021 to 2022. Is this time different? Are ETH treasury companies going to hold on to Ethereum? Are ETFs going to hold on to Bitcoin? That is the question you got to ask yourself. What is the ETF market worth right now? Like $6 billion? Do they hold on to that $6 billion? If they do, then this will be a very different bear market to what we are used to. If they don't and they dump it all, then, which I think the catalyst and the data that we need to look at will be staking, rewards, yield, etc., etc., etc. So you think about total net assets, $161 billion that we've never had before. It's all been retail. So if that $161 billion gets dumped, it's going to be pretty painful in the bear market. If not, then you're probably not going to see Bitcoin ever below 100K again. That's my opinion. What the institutions compete with each other to make profits through the dump? No, because don't forget, institutions don't hold it. They're customers of institutions. It's the difference. The difference between a traditional crypto a crypto company is that they're not governed. These are all governed by SEC rules. So if, for example, BlackRock were like, okay, we're going to liquidate the entire market, they're using customer funds. They'd get the same thing that happened to CZ Binance, Larry Fink, go to prison. So that's why it's very different with these ETFs. They are under a very strict regulatory framework by the SEC. So that's why you may see, that's why you can still see things like Binance and Wintermute and all the rest of it dumping and pumping the markets, because they can. They may not say it publicly, but they can. Different when you sort of get into the world of big tech and big corporate traditional finance markets, if that makes sense. Not necessarily a lot harder to sell it, probably less likely. And if you think about Ethereum, if they can put staking rewards on it, why would you even take it out there? So for example, I'm a big investor. I've got $1 million of Ethereum ETF and I'm earning, let's say, is it like 5% or something? What's ETH staking rewards? What is it? Weekly payouts 1%, 2.87. Okay, Ethereum staking rewards based on just the Ethereum network, 2.87%. Bank accounts that offer more than, let's say, 3%. Several banks in the UK offer current saving account with interest rates over 3%, including Chase up to 4.5%. But you have to put a set amount in there every single month, I think it is. So people may, oh yeah. So like this is where the banks are complete shitheads. So you can earn like 4%. Bear in mind that's annually. But it's going to cost you £5 a month for having the account. Like, get out of here. What the hell? So, I mean, that's low end. By the way, Solana, as an example, you earn 7%. You ain't going to find a bank account that's going to offer you 7%. So I think that's where it becomes a little bit different. Do you think Michael Saylor will sell some Bitcoin in the height of the cycle or just hold? He'll just hold. He's an absolute crazy lunatic. If you understand debt, and where I think Michael Saylor, and this is for a different live stream, by the way, but it is worth thinking about. Once you can use Bitcoin as collateral to raise money against, the game changes. That is when you get to $1 million Bitcoin, by the way. If you think about how big companies, big entities work, they just raise money against assets. Elon Musk is a great example of this. Elon Musk, on paper, isn't very wealthy. He doesn't have a lot of capital, right? But what he does do is, whenever he wants to go and buy a fucking yacht, brand new car, whatever it is, he just offsets the amount against his shares. He just owns shares in the company. He's been paid shares by Tesla for I think the whole duration of him being the CEO. So you say, well, I mean, I don't know what the price of Tesla is. Well, let's say Bitcoin. Let's use Bitcoin as an example. But let's say Bitcoin's 100,000, right? It's just easier, right? It's just easier to work the maths out. And then we're going to get out of it. I'm going to leave you on this interesting note. Let's say you have 10 Bitcoin and they're 100,000. It's $1 million. And the banks will say, we will allow you to raise capital against that. So you say, okay, well, I want to raise $200,000 and I'm going to use my Bitcoin as collateral and I'll raise that 200,000 against my Bitcoin. Banks go, okay, cool. We will hold your Bitcoin and we are going to sell your Bitcoin at the point in which we need to recoup our losses. Okay. So they may say, well, 80% is your liquidation point, just to use it as an example. So if Bitcoin hits $80,000, we're going to sell you Bitcoin and you lose everything. You go, brilliant. Okay, cool. I'm going to take my $200,000. You could even be a crazy person and go and take that $200,000 and go buy more Bitcoin. That's what Michael Saylor does, by the way. Therefore, you then end up with 12 Bitcoin, but the bank's holding 2 of those Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin may go up. Let's say it goes up to 125,000, right? So on your 12 Bitcoin, you've just made you've just made $300,000, right? You just made $300,000, including the increase rate of the banks that already have, right? So the banks have got it. They're happy because, you know, you sold it to them at 100,000, whatever it is. You've even made 50 grand on the 2 that banks have got. The banks don't make that. That's your money. So you go back to the bank and go, can I take the other 50 grand back out? And the bank go, okay, when it gets to 8,000 though, we can liquidating you motherfucker. And then you then take that capital and then you go buy more Bitcoin. And then the price goes up again to 150,000. You go back to the bank, take the other 50K, da 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 da. That's basically the strategy. Do you know what I mean? That's what they've done. Now, you would argue once you get to a certain point and the market then could collapse, that's when you sort of get it. But by that point, if you might have raised, 10 times what you've loaned the bank at, while at the same time having that capital at the bank takes all the costs. Do you know the other crazy bit about it? The other crazy bit is you don't pay tax. You don't pay tax on it. Why? Because you are raising debt. You have debt. You don't pay tax on it. Write the debt off against tax. It's fucking crazy. I am deep. Obviously, I don't need to get deep into taxes, or I don't need to get deep into kind of offsetting costs when you've only got a portfolio that's about $300-400, right? But for some of you out there that are sat on $250,000, $500,000, maybe even $1 million portfolio, you need to understand that when the banks allow you to offset debt against your cryptocurrency assets, the fucking game's going to change, because you're going to get crazy people. You're going to get companies that like Starbucks, Adidas, Nike. For example, Apple's another one. Apple licenses their logo, their brand logo in, I think it's like the Bahamas or the Seychelles or something. But their company is in the US. But what they do is they buy the rights from the Seychelles company for like some ridiculous amount of money. So basically the US entity makes nothing, and then they cash it all out in the Seychelles, which is way less tax, right? It's all a big scam. That's why the rich get rich and the poor stay poor. It's all a big like scam. Anyway, that is for a different video. That is definitely for another live stream. We've been live nearly an hour and 10 minutes by now, but yeah, that's kind of thing. That's when the game changes, all of which we'll be talking about as it happens. But story of the night, Bitcoin's looking pretty bullish. New all-time high 126. Retracement right now, not the end of the world. As long as I think we close above 125, good news story. Definitely, in my opinion, if you've enjoyed this type of style of live stream, go and check out what we talked about with Asta and World of Bit Financial. Don't forget, we live stream every single day, 4 p.m. Eastern, that's 9 p.m. in the UK. Make sure your notification bell is turned on and you click all. That way, when we go live, you will get a notification on your phone or on your laptop that we have gone live, and then you can come and join us. As always, though, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Don't forget, smash up the like button to a brand new all time. Jump into the Discord as well. All those links are in the description for you to grab. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, here on the 2-Bit Crypto channel. Thank you all so much. Catch you all on the flip side.